Hey guys, and welcome back to Franchise Nation. I'm your host, Moonlightswami, and today I'm bringing you guys a league recap for the first 3 games of the season. We are 3-0, and this week we'll be taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So before we get to that, we do have a recap, and that game will be coming to you guys on Wednesday. We have 2 players to negotiate with, Sheldon Rankins and Von Bell. Not guaranteed that we're going to bring back either of them as of right now, but that's for another discussion for another day. Let's take a look at the standings as of right now. As the Jaguars sit at 3-0, the Giants, the Packers, the Bills, the Patriots, the Saints, and the Buccaneers. And the Steelers and Browns are both 2-0-1. So the Steelers, who went something like 0-8 to start the season, or 0-9, are now 2-0-1. So how quickly things change. The Browns are 2-0-1, the Falcons are 2-1. Let's go through the divisions. So the 49ers still suck. Nothing's new there. Seahawks 0-3. What is going on in Seattle? We're going to have to take a look at them. NFC East, Giants 3-0. Eagles 0-3. Cowboys 1-2. Redskins 1-2. In the NFC South, we are all good. Every team has a positive point differential. Buccaneers, solid. Very solid. Plus 34. We're plus 29. Falcons plus 42. Panthers plus 5. NFC North, Packers and Bears, oh my. Vikings and Lions, both 0-3. Chiefs 2-1, Raiders 2-1, Chargers, positive differential, but are 1-2, typical Charger fashion, and Broncos are 1-2. The Bills and Patriots lead the way, Dolphins 2-1, Jets 1-2. Jaguars 3-0, Colts 1-2, Texans and Titans, both 0-3. And the Steelers and Browns are 2-0-1, Bengals and Ravens at 1-2. So what is going on with the Seahawks? Oh, they just happen to face 3 teams that are doing really well. The Panthers are 2-1, Bucks are 3-0, Packers are 3-0. So that makes sense at least, as they'll be taking on the 1-2 Redskins next week. Let's see if they have any injuries, and then we'll take a look at some of the stats and go from there. First and foremost, injuries. We are still without Delvin Breaux for 2 more weeks. The Seahawks are without Doug Baldwin, Procise, Bullock, McKee, and Heaney. Well, that explains at least a little bit why they're struggling. 49ers are without Eric Reed, DeForest Buckner, and Quandre Diggs. So the 49ers just still suck. I'm really sad that they can't seem to get their act together, considering, well, they do have Vernon Adams, so we'll get to them in a minute. Michael Wong, 5 touchdowns, 2 picks, 65% through 3 games. Not a lot of yards per game. Yards per attempt is solid, only been sacked 6 times, but he's getting the ball out of his hand pretty quickly. And the offense has been a little bit lackluster. Rakeem Blackman has started to turn things around, 242 yards, 4.3 yards per carry, 56 attempts through 3 games. Good pace. Hoyt and Darius Jackson have combined 27 carries and 3 touchdowns. They're kind of stealing the touchdowns from Rakeem Blackman. But as you can see, when they're on the field, they're getting touches. A lot of broken tackles between them. On to receiving, Kent Clements, Marcus Edens, and DeAndre Hopkins, all 13 receptions. 193 yards for Hopkins, 182 there. Michael Thomas, only 5 receptions through 3 games. We haven't been passing as much. And he's kind of been the odd man out despite being very impactful when he does touch the ball. Sacks allowed, Corey Stevens had a rough week 1, but he settled in after that. 3 sacks allowed, 1 for Kalu and 1 for Traylon Kraft. On to defense, Shad Houston leads the way. Moreland, 27 tackles, Shillings, 22. Stephon Anthony has 12. He's done fine. Tackles for a loss, Shad Houston, Shillings. We're not getting into the backfield the same way we were last year. Something that needs to be picking up a little bit. Cameron Jordan and Nichols Shillings, 6.5 and 5 sacks already. Hastings with 1.5. Etc. Victor Melvin already has half a sack. Interceptions, 2 for Von Bell, 1 for Hastings, 1 for Anthony, 1 for Fuller, 1 for Fassitt, and 1 for Breaux. Kicking lets us 4 for 5, only misses a block. And punts, 7 punts inside the 20 for Javier Moran so far this season. Kick return, Devontae Short's been good. Antoine Whiting, they like to stay away from him. And he's been very good, though, in the return game for punts. So, for the 49ers, doesn't seem like Vernon Adams is exactly an issue. 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 63%. But he's only been sacked 8 times. They're running a lot. Willie Snead is their number 1. Well, Deandre Vick's their number 2. Well, that says something. Warfield, etc. Perriman. They just suck. I don't know. They're just really bad. Wow. Okay, let's look around the league though. Passing wise, Brody Cochran, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks, 934 yards though. RG3 starting for the Ravens, looking very good there. RG3 is a good player, has that quick development. 29 years old, finally hitting his stride. Connor Levine for the Steelers. Whoa. He's been pretty solid for them. Jared Goff, not bad. Andrew Luck still looking pretty solid. Tom Brady, 8 touchdowns, 1 pick. I mean, Rodgers has 4 interceptions already. Brady 8-1. McAllister 7-5. Colby Ditka looking solid. Philip Rivers looking good. Dak Prescott looking pretty good. Manziel starting in Buffalo for Tyrod Taylor. A lot of completions, but or at least a high completion percentage. Interesting. Jameis Winston, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, but they're winning games. Not going to question Cam, 4 touchdowns, 6 picks. Melvin Gordon's a big reason why they're winning games. 6.3 yards per carry and 5 touchdowns already. Martin, Gurley, McCoy, Freeman, Spikes, Anderson, and Blackman. Interesting, Morgan Gilraith hasn't had a touchdown yet, but he's working there. Tavio Hoyt obviously has good yards per carry. CJ Anderson, 6.3 as well. Gurley, 5.2. Rushing touchdowns, 5 for Gordon, 5 for Trey Mason in Chicago. 4 for Barry Raymond, 3 for Josh Gaither, 3 for Spikes. Fumbles, who leads the way in this unfortunate department? Oh, it's Jalen Murray. 73 carrying on Murray, really fast, but not ideal. Not ideal to say the least. Derrick Henry, oh yeah, he's in Carolina. Oh boy. Broken tackles, a lot of guys up here. What's the longest run so far this season? 77 yards from CJ Anderson. Blackman had a 51-yarder and Hoyt had a 47-yarder. Receiving, Jack Percy leads the way, the second-year man out of Tennessee. He is really, really good. T.Y. Hilton, Dorial Green Beckham, 22 receptions, getting involved. Avion Buckshowalter has quite a bit of targets, despite being only a 69 overall, but he's been pretty solid for them. Interesting. Touchdowns goes to Darian Strickland, 5 for the 6'5" mammoth of a human being. Randall Cobb has 4. Kind of only 2 players with those 9 touchdowns. Interesting. Not conducive to a good team environment, I guess. Mylon Carson has 2. Blocking, who's been the worst so far? Jake Fisher, Sean Shaughnessy. My goodness, he just... 70 pass blocking, he's just not getting better. Mitchell Schwartz, Greg Robinson, Veldir Khalil, Brennan Looker, bunch of guys. Okay, on to defense. We'll start things off with the AFC. Tackles, Demario Davis, Brandon Marshall, Zach Brown, and Cushing all over 30. Tackles for a loss, 4 for Vaughn, 4 for Mack. Sacks, 6.5 for Henry Anderson, 4 for Bosa, 4 for Moats. 3.5 for Parker Demps. Interceptions, 3 for Chris Harris Jr., 3 for Hayden, 2 for Christian Hightower, 2 for Thomas Davis, 2 for Ridley, 2 for Daquan Applewhite, 2 for Bowie. On to the kicking. Okay, 8 for 10. Nothing too special there. Back to defense. Let's take a look at the NFC now. Dayon Buchanan leads the way. Bowman next. KJ Wright. So 3 NFC West teams. Well, kind of says something. They haven't been that successful. Michael Kendricks, Malaluga, Bobby Wagner. Chad Houston's up there. 8 tackles for a loss for Jonathan Hankins. 6 for Fletcher Cox. 6 for Quentin Coples. 5 for Dunlap. Sacks, 6.5 for Jordan, 5 for Shillings, 4 for Graham, 3.5 for Quinn. Interceptions, 3 for Randall, 2 for Deion Jones, Bradbury, Buchanan, Slay, David, Bell, and Trufant. Kicking, 6 for 6s, Cody Parkey, John Vander Bosch, 5 for 6, not bad. Gano, then Cairo Santos, Lutz, Barth, etc., etc., etc. Taking a look at awards. Dak Prescott, Dakota Rain Prescott won week number 1's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Brady, and then Buchanan and Henry Anderson. Rodgers and Latule, Gordon and Cushing for week number 2. 3 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown for Melvin Gordon. What a game. In week 3, back-to-back for Aaron Rodgers. RG3 with a huge week. Demario Davis and KJ Wright for the defensive side. On offense, we're 23rd in yards. On defense, we're 5th in yards allowed. I mean, that's a good balance so far-ish. 18th in points scored at 68. But on the other side, we're 3rd in points allowed, only 39. Like I said, we have only allowed 1 offensive touchdown so far this season. The defense has been phenomenal at stopping them. We haven't had the exact luck of, stopping them dead in their tracks, but we're stopping them shy of the end zone. That's good. All right, a lot of contracts have been negotiated thus far. So we'll start off with DeMarco Kidd, who re-signed with the Texans on a 3-year deal. Danny Trevathan, Whitney Merciless, AP. Rudolph, 5 for 35. Current on a 1-year deal. Conklin, 5 for 40. Ross, 4 for 94. And Sherman, 1 for 14. Yondo, 1 for 9.6. And Ronnie Stanley, 5 for 54 at left tackle. Well deserved. Quinn, 5 for 56, a little bit light. Hudson, 5 for 36. Brady, 1 for 23, very un-Brady-like. Rodgers, 1 for 25. Warford, 3 for 18. 1 for, not a long-term deal for Mukamara. Jordan Hill, 3 for 17. Willie Snead got paid, 4 for 31. Miles Jack, 5 for 40, basically. Michael Kendricks, 3 for 22. Joey Bosa, 6 for 78 mil. Vernon Hargraves, 4 for 30. Agba, 5 for 40. A lot of good deals so far. Ben, 1 for 23. Be the backup. Maybe he's hurt. Ladarius Green, 5 for 36. Jerron Reed, 4 for 30. AJ Green, 3 for 36. McDonald, 4 for 23. Joseph, 3 for 11. Very light. Gronk, 6 for 65. He's going to be there for life. Philly Brown, 4 for 32. Mike Daniels, 5 for 63. Jalen Ramsey, 4 for 50. Eli Apple, 4 for 25. Eli, 1 for 15. Buckner signed a nice deal before getting hurt. Neal as well. Dez, 4 for 45. Hunter Henry, 5 for 40. Wow. Tony Jefferson, 4 for 22. That's a steal. Joe Hayden, a good deal. CJ Anderson locked up long-term, as is Derek Wolfe. Reggie Ragland, 5 for 18.9. And Jerry Hughes, 3 for 22. Taking a look around the league for injuries. Jeff Driscoll, Joey Westbrooks, Tyrod Taylor, 3 more weeks. Shady, dislocated hip out 6. Dion Lewis with a foot fracture out 6 as well. Yikes. Broncos without Max Garcia, Ward, Paxton Lynch for 6 weeks with a fractured elbow. Connor McGovern, Jordan Alonzo, Norman Colbreth. None for the Browns, none for the Bucks. 3 for the Cardinals, John Brown, Tevin Hills, and Jermaine Gresham. Andrew McDonald out, Jamal Charles, Kamar Aiken, Cortez Meeks with a broken ankle. Oh no, he's out for the season. Oh man, that's rough. Tyreek Hill out with a compound foot fracture, really fast. I think a 68 is actually pretty fitting for him. Ryan Kelly out for a while, Lane Rasmussen, Ty, Des Bryant out 3 weeks, Matt Darch out 5, Newsome, Lansana, Haynes, and Hunter all out. Okay, no one for the Falcons. We went over them. Eric Flowers, Olivier Vernon, and Shakir Clark all out. Those are some big losses, but maybe we'll see some Dwayne Cleveland. Kelvin Beachum. Leonard Williams, Gilchrist, Jordan Jenkins, Duke Johnson Jr., and Bryson Overton. Poor Jets. Lions, Ansa, Abdullah Oblongata, Blake Martinez, and Jordan Mills for the Packers. No one for the Panthers. Wow. Our division's really healthy. Only Bro is hurt. Amendola, Belton, Cujo, and Lucas. Derek Carr out. Latavius Murray out for a little while. Tavon Austin. Okay, Antonio Allen's out for the season. Timmy Jernigan, Greg Hardy, and Victor Cruz. Charles Sims. We went over them. Steelers, Bell, Roethlisberger, DeAntoine Little. Okay. J.J. Watt out for 2 more weeks. Lamar Miller, fractured kneecap, IR. Ooh, that's terrible for such a good player. Oh, terrible for any player. Taji Sharp, Hennings, Barnage, Booker, and that's everybody. So that pretty much rounds out all the injuries. Now let's take a look at the expectations for the contracts for our two guys. Sheldon Rankins is looking for a 4-year deal worth $30 million, and Bell's looking for about a 4-year, $22 million. Thomas, 4 years for $31. Stephon Anthony, 4 for $29. A little high. Sanchez Neal. A lot of these contracts are pretty reasonable. This one is the least reasonable. 4 for $30 million? Yeah, no. That's Danny Trevathan money. He's a really good player, and if Stephon Anthony's not Danny Trevathan, I don't care. He's just not. Michael Thomas, as a third wide receiver, I could actually see us letting him go for this much money. It depends. I'd like to retain him, but it depends on how much we get him involved. Von Bell, like I said, we have to decide on. And Sheldon Rankins, I'd like back, but there is the case of Victor Melvin. We'll have to see how Barry Tanner does, because we do have Tanner in on a steal, and we want Victor Melvin to get ample playing time. So Sheldon Rankins might actually be the odd man out. We'll have to see. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Moonlightswami, and I'll be talking to you guys later. Peace!